Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. It's 3:30, so it's time to get started. I'm Stephanie Crawford, Executive Director of IDEA. Again, thrilled to have you all with us today. And I am just going to give you a quick reminder that at the end of our webinar, I will put information in the chat so that you can claim your PDH if you would like it. And then we will stop about 5 minutes before it's time for it to end and to allow for any questions that you have. And I will stop the recording at that time. So in case you're a little shy of asking those questions in a recording, you'll have that time. Also, if you have questions throughout, if you want to put them in the chat, I will make sure to let Catherine know. And without further ado, I'm going to throw it over to Catherine, let her introduce herself, and we'll get started.
Perfect. Thanks, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Cappiello. I'm one of the teacher success managers here at Book Creator. I'm located in Chicago. I've been with Book Creator now for about 4.5 years. Before Book Creator, I was in the classroom for about 9 years. I taught elementary school and high school. Kind of skipped over middle school, but I love being an educator. I still consider myself an educator. I teach educators, all over about how to really integrate Book Creator into their classrooms, or also teach people how to teach others how to use Book Creator. So today we are going to dive into seeing all about what's new here at Book Creator. So we have some awesome new features to show you. We're also going to get into Book Creator and play around a little bit with some of the features too. So I'm really excited to show you all of what's new here at Book Creator. So let me share my screen and we'll dig in. I will also share this book with you. I'm presenting with Book Creator. So those of you that might be kind of new here at Book Creator, I always tell everyone that Book Creator is a great presentation tool to give to your students or even for you to present with. So I highly recommend using it for that as well. So I will stick this in the chat towards the end so that you have all of this as well. So don't feel like you have to take a ton of notes or anything like that. You can sit back, relax, and watch. And I also will get you into Book Creator in just a few minutes as well. All right. And feel free to, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. As Stephanie said, feel free to do that. And we all also have some time at the end for some Q&A too. So let's go ahead and get started. A little agenda for today. We have, we're going to go over all of the different new features. I'm going to demo all of them for you. We will get you into Book Creator and feel free to play along if you want to, or you can just sit back and relax and watch. So whatever your learning style is, feel free to do that learning style. We also have a few features that are coming soon. So they are going to be released soon. I will be able to demo them for you, but you won't have access to them just yet. So we will see those towards the end, and then we'll have some time for some Q&A. But to get started first, I want you to, if you would like to sign into Book Creator. So to get you started, some of you might already be in there, so you are ahead of the game. If you are not, you are going to be signing in at app.bookcreator.com. I'm going to throw that into the chat, just app.bookcreator.com. You can click on that link in the chat and then just sign right in. If you are new to Book Creator, you can just create a teacher account. Make sure you are clicking on switch to teacher. Do not sign in as a student. And then just answer the questions that follow. And then if you are returning to Book Creator, probably a lot of you are returning to Book Creator users since this is a new feature session. You can play along with the features as I'm going through. But like I said, you do not have to get into Book Creator. You can also just sit back and watch as well. All right, so let's dive in. What is new here at Book Creator? This has been out for some time, so some of you might already know about this, but when I do some new feature sessions or when I'm out in the field and presenting at different school sites, I have realized a lot of people do not know that these exist. So I wanted to start out with this. One thing that is available to you are graphic organizers. So graphic organizers have been out for a while. And to access graphic organizers, what you're going to be doing is you click on the plus button when you're inside a book. And when you click on the more button with this little rocket ship right here, when you're inside a book, if you scroll down and click add apps, it's going to take you to our app store. So if, some of you might be aware of the app store. If you're not aware of the app store, you might still be new here at Book Creator. We have graphic organizers. We have some that are free. So if you are a free user, there's some that are free. If you are a paid user, you have access to all of the graphic organizers. Now, if you are a free user, if at the end, I actually have a 6-month code for you for free premium access. So stay tuned for that. All of you will be getting 6 months free premium access. So there's a giveaway at the end. So to activate this, all you do, I'm going to disable this app real quick. All you'll do is just click enable app. And what you'll do is when you enable an app, when you enable the app, it enables for you as the teacher, the instructor. If you want to enable it for your students, you can select all your libraries, or you can select specific libraries. I'm just going to select all for today and hit done. And now it is enabled and I can use those graphic organizers. So I'm going to go back and go into my library. And let's look at those. I have a lot of libraries. So let's go to the library. There it is. Okay. And let me see this. And let's go to that page where we are demoing on. I also have to note that graphic organizers are best used in landscape books. So right now I'm in a square book, so it's going to be off center. So when you are using graphic organizers, you want to make sure you are in a landscape book. So I should have started off with that, but I can still show you how to use them. So when you're in here, you're going to click on more. Now I have graphic organizers available. So I'm going to click on these graphic organizers. If you are on the free plan, you'll have access to the free ones. The free ones do not have a crown on them. The premium ones have a little crown that say premium, and you'll have access to 104. But we all will have premium access by the end of the session today, which is exciting. You can search by just a topic, a term, or you can search by categories. So let's say if I'm like a science teacher and I want a science one, I have 30. They're across grade level, so it's great for differentiation for your students, and you can edit them as well. So if you see one and you're thinking, this is great for science, but I want to edit it for a math one instead, you can. I'm going to click on science. I have all these different science ones. I'm going to click on a free one just to use today. So I'm going to click on the scientific method one today. And it gives you a little synopsis about what it's about. And I'm just going to click add to book. Now, what it's telling me is this template is not a square. So remember I said you should put in a landscape book, but today we're not in a landscape book. So I'm just going to click continue anyways. So it's going to go off the page, but that's fine. I can still show you how to use it. What's great about these is these are text boxes. So if I assign this out to my students, when they receive this, I can click inside these and I can start typing. Like I said before, you can also edit these. So I can double click in this text. If anything is locked, I just click on the inspector button and I click unlock. And now I can double click and edit this. So I could put, maybe I could say my science notebook or anything you wanted to say instead. And now I have edited the text and so forth. You can also add text on top of this if you wanted to use bullet points or numbering. You don't have to use the text boxes. We always encourage students to use multimedia, record their voices, images, and so forth. So you can put those inside the text boxes instead too. So those are graphic organizers. I highly recommend using those in your classroom and checking those out as well. So those are there. A lot of people do not know those exist. So highly recommend checking those out. Those of you that just joined, just know we are at We are on app.bookcreator.com. I'll stick the link in the chat again. I know some people just joined. You can just log right in if you want, or you can sit back and relax and just watch the new features. I will also share this book in the chat towards the end today. The next new feature we have is the new updates to our text editor. So if you go to the text box, you are going to notice that we have some updates. You might have already seen this, but just to go and review with some of you too, you're going to notice some, and you might notice something in my box that you might not have, which we're going to see, which we're going to review during the coming soon. So you might see that on my screen right now. But some updates to this box. So we have now, when we're typing, so I'll just say hello. Right now, what you can do here is we've added coloring. So you can actually change the color to your text right within the text box, which has been a huge update. We've wanted to do that for a really long time. So I can change this to any color I want right within my text box. I can also annotate right within my text box as well. So I can highlight right there. What I love about this is I can use bullet pointing and numbering, which is great for presentations, great for note taking. If you're using a science notebook, a math notebook, you can take notes right within the text box. So I can use my bullet points right there, or I can use my numbering right there. We also have a lot of symbols. So if you're a foreign language teacher, you're going to love the symbols right here. We also have some math symbols too. So lots of different symbols for whatever you're teaching. So check those out as well. And then you're going to see a button that says translate. Yes, we have a translate feature that's coming out next week. So we're going to go over the translate feature. You're going to be able to do more than just translate text in the text box. I'm going to show you that towards the end today. So stay tuned for that. But we do have all those other new features in the text editor. So all that cool stuff. All right, let's keep chugging along. We went over those. We demoed that. Okay, new fonts. What I love about Book Creator is that with the fonts, I always like to say that we've chosen fonts. Let me add text to the page first. So here we go. If I want to change this font, I feel like all of our fonts are purposeful. There's different reasons why we have chosen different fonts. And I believe there's a book right here. Yes, or there's a blog post. When you receive this book, you can click on this blog post, and it talks all about why there's a book in here. New fonts added. And there's a whole book right here that talks about all the new fonts that we've added and why we've added each font, which I learned a lot about of why we should be using specific fonts with our students or even presenting with educators. I used to use like crazy fonts with educators and with all capital letters and things like that. And then I realized I shouldn't be doing that all the time. So I learned a lot by just reading through this book and why we chose specific fonts. So it's really neat that you could teach your students that too with the audiences that they're writing their books for. So I highly recommend checking that out. What I also love about the fonts is that we don't have too many. So there's plenty that they can be creative, but that we don't have too many fonts where they're going to go down. They're going to go down a rabbit hole for an hour and choose a font. So I love that about Book Creator. Another new feature we have is that you can add colors to your audio hotspots. So when you create a record button, let's create the record button. Let's now check out the colors. Use recording. Here's my record button. It's always been black and white, and we've always been asked, can we change colors? Can we change colors so we can have colors for different sounds? Can we have colors for just to be creative, different reasons why? So if you want now, you can click on this, click on the inspector, and now you have color and background. So if I want a color, I could do purple, and then I can change my background. If I wanted to, I could click on all these colors and maybe do another kind of purple color. There we go. And now I've changed my background. What you do need to note though, when you do keep recording, it keeps that color. So just make sure that you remember that. I've forgotten that, and then they all stay purple. So just make sure you change them if you want them back to black and white. So new feature. All right, our read mode features. A lot of new read mode features. A lot of us do not know they exist. So when I go into read mode, what you can do now, if you click on these three dots on the right-hand side, we have a lot of new features. We have the first one is copy link to page. So if you want your students to go to a specific page in a book, or let's say you have an LMS and you want your students to turn in a specific page to a template they're using, you can copy link to a page instead of copying link to the entire book and you have to click through the entire book. I love that you can link to a specific page now. It's really helpful for grading purposes. Another one is downloading a QR code. When I click download QR code, it prints off the book. It also prints out the title as well as the author name on there. So I'll show you what it looks like once it pops up. What I love about using QR codes, this is great for like a bulletin board if you're doing that in your classroom. It's all so there's what this looks like. It even says book creator on the top. It's also great for doing like an author of the month, put that on your door. You can even have them as like, if you want to, maybe a student's reading a book and you want them to write about what they liked about that book and then put that inside the book cover. You could do so many different things with the QR codes. So highly recommend checking out different ways to use those. Another option that we have here are these four little squares. This is the pages view. Huge option, new feature. I can actually now look at the entire book instead of clicking through all the pages. I can click on the pages view and now select a page. This has been so helpful for me, especially instead of having to click through all the pages. And then I just double click on the page I want. And here we are. Oops, there's a video. And then I can look at the page. Other ones too, the last one is, we've had embed for a while, but just to go over embedding, you can also embed on like a Wakelet. You can embed on your website and Seesaw, things like that. I highly recommend using that as well. Okay, let's go back to edit mode. LMS integration. If you are, these are for paid customers. So if you are a paid user and you are a district or a school site, you do have LMS integration. So for LMS integration, we are integrated with Canvas and Schoology, or Schoology. So if you were not aware of that, Canvas is great. The Canvas integration is great. All teachers and students can use it inside Canvas completely, but you do need to be a paid user to do this because you have to have an admin console to set the integration up. But if you are already a paid user for your district and you want to use Canvas or Schoology, make sure you reach out to us so that we can set that up for you. Really great integration, so they can use it completely in the LMS. Okay. And then, central libraries. So central libraries is brand new. It just released a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, this one too is only for customers that are actually on a domain access. subscription. So this means if your entire district has book creator access, but I'm going to show you just so that you, in case you do have domain access already, it is one of the features that has to be turned on for your district. So if you are an administrator and you have domain access and you haven't turned this on yet, highly recommend checking this out. I do need to share a different screen. So let me stop sharing this screen and then share one more since it's in a different account. Sorry, I know this is really annoying. Here we go. Share. All right. So what this looks like is if you are an administrator, what you can do is you can run district libraries for your district if you are on a domain access subscription. What you'll have on your teacher dashboard is you'll have my libraries, you will have shared with me, but then you will also have, this is book creator district schools, but you'll have your district libraries. So you will be able to create a new library specifically for your district, and it will show up on all of the teachers' dashboards. So let's say I want to create an 8th grade social studies library. I can click create library. The first thing that happens is that it pops up as invisible. There's a little eye you'll see on each one. So what's happening now is I'm creating this library. I'm going to go up to my own libraries and I'm going to go into maybe like fun activities. And maybe I want to put, let's do Christmas around the world research. And I'm going to put that into I'm going to copy that book into the 8th grade social studies library. And what I'm doing is filling that library up with books that teachers are going to be able to. So there's that book inside the 8th grade social studies library. I'm filling that book with templates, student exemplars, anything related to that 8th grade group that they can use with Book Creator. Okay. Now, on the teachers page, they will not see the create a new library. They will not be able to access that. They will only see all the libraries myself as an administrator have created. So if I wanted to go into, let's say, special education, I could go into special education and I would be able to look at all the books that my district has supplied us with. If I liked the look of, sorry, my mouse is not working. If I like the look of this book, what I could do is click on book options, click copy book, and I'd be able to copy the book into one of my libraries. I could then edit that book once I get my own copy and assign it out, which we'll talk about signing in just a little bit, assign it out to my students, and they would get their own copy that they could then edit with our edit during our lesson. So great use of district created materials, student exemplars, just to get you using Book Creator more within your district. Another thing you can do when you are part of a domain access plan, you have access to an admin console. And on that admin console, let's say you have access to see all of the teachers in your district. You can make some teachers library managers. So as an administrator, you might be thinking, I don't have time to run all these libraries and stuff like that. But you can actually pick leaders in your district to become library managers, and then they can manage those libraries. So if I want Amelia as a library, I just go in the admin console, click on these 3 dots and click assign as library manager. And then Amelia has a little star next to her icon in a little circle. And now Amelia is library manager and has access to everything the administrator has access to as well. So on the dashboard, Amelia will have central libraries too. and will have access to the create a new library button and can create libraries for the district and so forth. So if you are on a domain access subscription or you're thinking about going to domain with your district, this is one feature that you will also receive. And this has been released just a few days ago. All right, let's keep chugging along. I'll reshare my screen. Let me know if you have questions on that. There we go. Okay. So that's central libraries. The next one are literacy templates. So you can find these literacy templates. You can click on this link once I share this book out. But we also have it in the Discover section. So if you've never been to the Discover section, if you click out into your library, and if you click on the 3 lines, the top left-hand side of a library, it takes you to that teacher dashboard I was just looking at. If you click on the Discover section right here, you are going to find literacy templates right at the top. The literacy templates, it says alphabet books, but this is where the literacy templates are housed. So if I click on the alphabet books right here, it's going to take you to all these templates. We have I hate to say new because she's been here now for like 6 to 8 months, but a head of literacy, and she has created all these wonderful templates, literacy templates, for foundational literacy. So if you check these out, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it's going to start out with the alphabet. That's why it says alphabet books. We have all of the letters of the alphabet. And then if you scroll up, you're going to see rhyming, you're going to see vowels, and then you're going to see comprehension, vocabulary, phonics, and phonemic awareness. So lots of different resources for foundational literacy. If you find one of these that you would like to use, so if I find maybe we're learning the letter A and I want to use this with my class, I'm going to just click on one of these books and I can click read now. And these are all remixable. So I can actually get my own copy of these books. Remixing is just basically getting your own copy. So I can click on remix right here. And it will say add an editable copy to your book creator library. I just pick what library I want to put it to. So maybe my books or one of your classroom libraries, maybe my 4 to 8 group, and just click copy to library. And then you get your own copy in that library that you can now edit and assign out to students, which we're going to practice in just a few minutes. So I highly recommend checking those out. There's a ton of different resources in there for foundational literacy. We also have, while we're in the Discover section, if you scroll down even further below those literacy templates, we have a section down here that are student templates. There's even more templates if you weren't aware of. If you click on there's the first ones that pop up are getting started templates, but we also have to the right literacy templates. So under here, we also have, you're going to see more that she has made, prefixes and suffixes, high frequency word templates. I love the high frequency word template. We have ones that are like already set for you, but then we also have a template that you can fill out the words too. We have personal narrative template. I know a lot of teachers are using those. So take a look at those. And then we also have some that other teachers have passed along to us and we've put in Discover as well that are also remixable. Unfortunately, we're always asked, is there a search bar? There's not a search bar yet. Hopefully there will be one there soon so you can search for templates, but right now there's not one, unfortunately. So you do have to kind of sort by the topic. We have some great STEM ones. If you look up here, there's some STEM notebooks. So I'll click up here. These are great. So there's like an engineering notebook, a design notebook. There's a little teacher guide. So take a look at these two. They're all remixable. So there's a lot of new stuff that we keep adding. So if you've seen it once, go back because there's always new stuff being added. You're not going to get alert or anything, unfortunately. So I would always go back and check what's new in there. I always see new stuff popping up and I'm not even aware of it. So I would keep looking. Okay. All right. So that's in the Discover section, some new templates. And then let's go back to our book. Oops, libraries. Let's keep moving forward. Hopefully you're getting excited about some of the updates. And then, here we go. We're almost to translations. It might be the next one. Let's see here. We have, I think it's the next one, which is exciting. Let's see here. We went to the Discover page. Oh, the toolkit for schools and districts. So we have a toolkit that's also in the Discover section, a toolkit, and I have a blog post about this. The toolkit for schools and district is huge. It is filled with everything that you would need to know about Book Creator and resources. It's kind of overwhelming at first. I love the curriculum area that gives you a ton of ideas about how to use Book Creator. When you get this book, feel free to click on this blog post and the book is in there. And you can gather some resources and ideas. Do not get overwhelmed though. Like I said, it is overwhelming to read through it. It just has a ton of things in it. But if you need some ideas, I would check out that curriculum section and just get some ideas of how people have used Book Creator across subject areas. So that's a resource for you. All right, translations coming soon. So the translation feature, what you're going to be able to do, and I'm going to show you it all, you are going to be able to do, and translation is going to be only for paid users. So in a second, I'm going to, or at the end, you are going to have 6 months free premium access. So you will be, if you are a free user, you will be able to use this for 6 months, which is awesome. Translations, you are going to be able to translate books, comments, audio, and text and video in 137 languages. So very, very, very cool stuff. We've needed a translation feature for a while. I know everyone's been asking for one and it's finally here. So some exciting stuff. Let's see it. So what I'm going to do is I have a template. I'm going to go into this template and I'm going to have you actually, we're going to get into Book Creator in a second and you're going to be playing around with some of the features in just a second. Because I want to show you assign a book in a second and one other feature, but I'm just going to show you how to use translations real quick. Okay. What to translate text, what you're going to be able to do is where it says like my name is, I can click on this text that pretend this is a template that a student has in class. Translations are defaulted to off for students. In your library settings, you can turn them on for your students. They're already on always for teachers, but you need to turn them on for your students. So when you turn them on for your students, if this was on for a student and I'm a student and I need to translate this, I can either right click and click on translate, or I could click on the inspector and click translate. So 2 spots I can translate. If I click translate, it's all powered by Google Translate. I can either search for a language or I can select the language. And if let's say I want Spanish, I'll just click Spanish and hit translate and it instantly translates it. Should be instant. There we go. And I can move it around. There we go.
Catherine,
Yes.
Can I ask you, there's a question in the chat. So can I ask you that really quickly?
Yeah. How can I
Uh,
find the cool moving images? Yes. So the GIFs, yes. How did I find this cool moving image? What I did was I went to more. You do have to add Giphy as an app. So if you haven't added it as an app yet, just click add apps. It will take you out to the app store. Add it as an app, and then what you'll have Giphy right here. Click on Giphy. And then what I did was I love stickers. So I didn't use GIFs, but I used stickers right here. And I just typed in light bulb. And then I got one of the idea kind of light bulbs. I don't know if you got the theme, but I just picked one of the little light bulbs right there. Hopefully that helps. Yep. All right. So, anyways,
Catherine, I'm so
yeah,
sorry. She had a
yeah.
follow-up question
Oh,
about
yeah.
whether students have access once she turns that on.
Oh, okay. When you're turning it on, when you click enable the first time, it enables it for you as the teacher. The next screen that pops up, it's going to ask for your libraries. If you click on the check mark for a library, it will give access for students. If you leave it off and don't check it off for the library, then students will not have access to that. Giphy has a privacy policy of only students 13 and up can use it. So you should only be clicking it for students if they're 13 and up. I can show you how to do that too right after this if you want to. Yep. Cool. All right. Okay, so that's how you translate that. I can also translate text. So if I'm going to click on text right here and start typing text and say, maybe I'm going to say, have a great evening. Sorry, it's freezing a little bit. You're going to notice here that one button I showed you before that says translate. I can just highlight and hit translate. And I can also select my languages here and hit translate, and it will translate right within the text box. So that's another area where you can translate. I did mention you could translate comments. So if I click on the comment button down here and click add comment, I could say great work and hit post. What I do here is I click on these three little dots right here and hit translate in any of the languages. Translate. What I love about the comments is it goes side by side, so you can see both of them right there. What I'm going to do here is translate this back to English, just because I'm going to assign this in a second. There we go. All right. Now, another one you can do is audio. Let me click record. We are trying out the translation feature. Remember the purple button? It always turns purple. There it is. Okay, so there's the purple one. To translate, I'm just going to right click or click the inspector, hit translate. Now for audio, what happens is it's going to give you a transcript first. So the transcript will pop up, check what it says, make sure you have what you want to translate, or you can edit it first. So edit your transcript and then it will translate to make sure that you have what you want it to translate. So I'll click next. Whatever language you're speaking in, you can switch it. Generate automatically. Generating my transcript. Let's see if it actually popped up what it says. Okay, we are trying out the translation feature. Perfect. Let's choose our language. I just keep doing Spanish. What's great about this is it has voices. So female or male, there's 4 different voices. It's way better than our read to me, I have to say. Don't tell anyone I said that. So I'm going to do voice A.
Esta es una grabación de muestra con esta voz. Esta es una grabación de muestra con esta voz.
I'm just going to do the male one, and I'll just hit translate. And what's great is it translates it to a second button. So you can have the English, you can have the Spanish, and it's side by side. And the translation one has a little translation sign right there. So you have the English, you have the Spanish, and they're side by side. Really, really cool stuff. The other one is translating video. So if I was to record a video, we are trying out the translation feature today. With the video, it's going to obviously not translate like my face, like recording. It's going to translate captioning. So I have to add captions and then translate the captions. Okay. So what's great is I can be speaking English, but the translation can be in Spanish or whatever you want it to be. So once this loads, Let's see if I can add captions. Not yet. So when this loads, you just click on the inspector and then the captions will pop up right here. We can come back to this. Let me show you how to translate the book. Sorry, my computer is doing the fan thing. Okay, so let's translate the book real quick and then we'll go back. So to translate a book, in your library, you'll click the little book options button and you'll hit translate book and you can translate the book. It will translate the audio, the video, or it says any audio or video will need to be translated manually. So you have to go in and translate that. But it will translate all the text in there. So choose language, Spanish, translate. And there we go. We'll look at it in a second once it loads. Let's go back and see if the video is ready. So I'm going to show you that. There it is. Here's the video. Hit the inspector. We're going to add the captioning. We're going to generate it automatically because it's in English. And then let me change it in Spanish. It will load. It'll tell us when it's ready. See if our book's ready. There it is. Let's see if it changed everything in Spanish. Let's delete our video. So everything has been translated in Spanish. So some of the formatting kind of goes off a little bit. You might have to make it a little bigger. But there we go. All Spanish. I think that's pretty cool. So if you needed a template for specific students, you can make different copies for them. And then, or if they need to just translate text real quick, they could do that. Okay, so the captioning, it says for the captions, it says add translation. So I'll add translation, translate, and then you can pick, so the captions, I can pick which one you want on the video. So if I want this one, I can set as default. And then when I play it, we are trying out the translation feature today. You can also slow down captions. We are trying out the translation feature today. We are trying out the translation feature today. So if you want to slow it down, you can always slow it down a little bit too. Some cool stuff. All right. Last thing I want to show you, let me delete some of these. You're going to get into Book Creator in a second. Let me delete this. do, do, do. Okay, is assign a book. So assign a book is one of our recent features. And assign a book is, you already heard me talk about it, but I'm going to show you copy link to library and assign a book. So we've added a copy link to library is great if you're using like an LMS because you can post Google Classroom even too. You can post a link somewhere and just say, click on this and join my classroom. Students click on it. You don't have to give them a code anymore. So what I'm gonna do in a second is put a link into the chat. You're gonna click on it, and you're gonna join my library, okay? The feature that I'm also gonna show you next is assign a book. I'm gonna actually, once you join my library, I'm gonna assign all of you a book, and so you can see the magic happen, okay? But first, let's join my library. So you do have to be logged into Book Creator. So I'll stick that in the chat one more time if you're not. Or actually you can log in once you it will log you in once you get this link. So let me copy link in the chat, click on this link, and it will have you log in first if you haven't logged in yet, and it will take you directly to my library. So click on that. It'll take you directly to my library. And what I'm going to see is you'll see under here, I have Kelly's joined, Stephanie's joined, Christina's joined. I'm going to start seeing authors join. See if I can refresh, see if more people's joined. Just a few people. If you need help, let me know. Yes, someone raised their hand. Feel free to unmute yourself. Did you have a question? No? All right. Okay. So once you're in, what I'm going to do, if you just want to watch, you can just watch too. But once you're in the library, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign you this template. So what you'll do is you'll send out the link to your students. They will join your library. And then what you can do is you can create a template. So for what I did here was I created a template for my students. Right now, you're acting as if you were my students. And I'm going to have you fill out a template. Okay. So I have my name is, we use Book Creator 4, I teach. On the back of this template, I have my favorite new features are, I believe the soon to release translation feature will benefit students because, and one feature request I have is. So you have all these different things that you can kind of play around with and fill out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this out to all of my students. So all of you so I'm going to click on this little book options button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this out, or not book options. I'm going to click on this little link right here. What I'm going to do is click assign book. When I click assign book, it's going to instantly assign it to anyone that's part of my library or anyone that ends up joining my library. And you all are going to get a copy that is going to pop up in front of you in your library. Okay. So I'm going to click assign book. It's going to go to everyone in the library. You also could hit change, and I could actually hit, only assign it to specific students. So maybe I only want Christina and Stephanie to get this copy. I could hit those specific students and only they get this copy. So it's great for differentiation. But for this time, I want everyone to get this copy. So I'm going to do everyone in the library. I'm going to hit start assignment. And now you're going to see, look at all those copies that popped up in my library. So Christina has a copy, Courtney, Kelly, and Stephanie all have copies. But you're going to see in your library only one copy. You're going to see my copy and your copy because in the settings, I turned off read each other's books. So you only see your copy. Okay? Then what you can do now is you can click into your copy and you can start filling it out. Okay? So feel free to play around with that. Good, I'm so glad. It makes it so much easier than like making a copy of a copy. Because that's what you used to have to do. And this is available right now. It's not coming soon. Sorry, I should have said that. I know I showed translations first. And I know we don't have much time to fill out the template, so don't feel like you have to complete the template. That was just, I just wanted to show you how to actually join and then complete it because we only have a few more minutes. What I do want to do is stick this book in the chat so that you all have a copy of the book that I presented with. You also have a copy of it in the library, since if you're part of the library, you have a copy of it. But I also stuck a link in the chat. I also want you all to get the 6 months premium access. So I'll talk about that really quick. At the end of the book, I'll also stick this in. It's on page 30. I'll stick this in the chat too, but on page 30, it just says click on the image above. So if you click on this little trophy, it takes you to a link. I'll stick it in the chat though. Let me put this in the chat. It's going to take you to a form. In the form, it's going to ask you for your name, and it will say, thanks for stopping by and joining Catherine for today's webinar. Fill out this form to claim your free 6-month premium trial. So you have 6 months. It does start right away, so you can't like save it for later on, just so you are aware. The upgrade link will be on submission page. Your name, your email, just make sure you use your district's name, email. You can put your school name, you don't have to, but you can. Your job title. It's going to ask you if you're interested in a school or district pilot. A pilot means that you would get that your district would also get, your school or your district would also get the 6 months free premium access. So if you are interested in that, feel free to click yes. Someone would reach out to you from Book Creator just to talk to someone to set that up for you, but your whole school or your whole district would be able to get 6 months free as well. So check that out. And then if you want relevant updates and resources, you can click that. And then just hit submit, and then you will get the submission page will have your upgrade link on there. Okay.